Welcome back to Kryptolytix, giving you a fresh take on crypto analytics. Today, I'm going to go over some long-term or high time frame scalping strategies using the Kryptolytix Pivot Surge, or formerly known as the trend reversal. And these can all be automated in Pionex. So I'm going to go over a few and show you how you can sort of find some more on your own. So let's just get straight into the video, shall we? Okay, so before I get into the video, I would appreciate if you could please smash up the like button on this and subscribe to the channel and turn that bell notification on so you can get more updates for videos that I post if you want some higher for content to get you ready for the bull market. So these strategies are great for slowly farming USDT that you can then use to, say, dollar cost average into the market on some blue chip coins like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and whatever else you have high conviction in, be it Solana, Matic. The list is long, but it's up to you what you have conviction in that you want to buy a spot for. But you know, this is sort of the perfect time to be really setting yourself up for that and for the next bull run, because the bull run is really a time for you to be taking profit. It's not really the best to be entering new positions unless it's, you know, short-term leverage trades, stuff like that. But the bull market is a relaxing period where you can just enjoy the hard work that you've put in the last 2 years. Because in terms of, if we think about, you know, Bitcoin and crypto and how these cycles work, you know, there's the 4-year cycle, right? And maybe that won't be relevant anymore in the future. You know, in terms of the halving pump, not as many people were aware of it, but it feels like now everyone is expecting a pump after the halving. So does that mean it won't happen? Well, I'm not so sure about that. But if we think about Bitcoin and crypto into the 4-year cycle, we have the 1 year roughly to sometimes a little over a year of intense bullish action where it's just massive expansion to the upside. And then we have a year of aggressive downside, essentially, where we take out most of the Fibonacci's in terms of if we measure from the bottom to the top of the expansive move. Like in the last cycle's case, basically we had our massive bull run. That's our big expansive move to the upside, essentially. And then we retraced all the way to the 786 in the last bear market. So we came down to it here first, then we got a relief rally back up to the 20-week moving average band, and then came back down to find a bottom just below the 786. And if I look at the index chart, it actually came to the bottom of the SMA VWAP bands, or the SMMA VWAP bands. So that's kind of what we get. We get these big expansive moves to the upside. We got a bit of consolidation around the top where we entered this range, essentially. We went sideways, and then our massive move to the downside. And then if we have a look, basically between those phases, so big bull, big bear, and then sideways, we have about 2 years, generally speaking, to, well, not quite 2 years in this case, but we have around 2 years to get ourselves ready for the next bull run. So that's kind of what the idea of these bots are, is they're just sort of farming away, hopefully working, and getting you ready to be able to deploy capital essentially for the bull market. There's a couple of ways you can go about these with these bots, and I've definitely covered these in previous videos, but I'm just going to go over quickly again so you can have a look at the settings. Now, the thing about Pionex and with these bots, each bot is isolated. So the odd margin is isolated. So if for some reason things malfunction and don't work out, well, it's isolated to just that one strategy. So it won't affect the rest of your account, which is positive. And with Pionex, you can actually set it so that the bot can either reinvest the profit that it makes, or it just enters the same amount every time. And with all the backtesting here that I'm going to show, I am going to show this in a way that shows if you were to just say invest 80 USDT. So I guess the aim for this is low risk. So you're risking a low amount of capital on each of these bots. And if they work out, then the upside is, well, kind of unlimited, and the downside is $80 essentially. So I just figured I would do all this testing and show the results for this with, in this case, it will be $80 USDT at 8x leverage. So that works out to be $640 per position. So it's not a large amount of money, right? It's not a huge trade position size. The idea of this is to be somewhat of like passive income, I suppose, that you can use to then, you know, DCA into other coins and stuff like that, or do whatever you want with, essentially. So with all of these, I've back tested. And the thing about back testing is that it might not forward test very well. So, you know, it's one of these things where if you wish, you could just, if you liked some of these, you could have a look at the settings, and then you can just adjust the date to like today today's date or whatever date you're curious, and just save the chart and, you know, watch it for a month or two and see what the results are on something that you find. So if you actually don't want to invest any capital in these strategies, well, that's fine, right? But if you're curious to see how they go, then all you have to do is set them up and then just watch and see how it plays out. Because as a bot, it will take the signals as soon as they come through, regardless. So it means it's a lot easier to keep track of. You don't have to journal, you don't have to do anything like this, because what you see on the chart is what you get. So for example, this is the pivot surge, still called trend reversal. I'm sorry if this is confusing, but I'm going to call it pivot surge later. So for now, it just says trend reversal here, but that text will be different soon. And all you would do is you just set it to today's date. So in this case, it's September 27, but realistically, let's pretend like it's August, I suppose. And that way you can see in the strategy tester how this strategy's been on this particular coin since August. And I'm just on this token STMX, which is one that I found today, which I have implemented. And again, with me, I've actually deployed a lot of these and just thrown 80 USDT at them to see how they go. Because to me, $80 USDT is really not a lot, but you can actually make a fair bit from that still if the bots work as they have been backtested and as anticipated. So, and the thing is, these bots, to be honest, work best in these 2-year block between the bull and the bear. Because during the bear market, well, you wouldn't use something like this, and in the bull market, you wouldn't use something like this, because a lot of these strategies that I'm about to show you work better in a sideways market. And we have to remember that in these 2 years, if we are thinking in the 4-year cycle, the market mostly tracks sideways. It's a ranging market for the most part. I mean, even look at Bitcoin this year. You know, this looks like a trend. I mean, it's definitely trended up, but how many times has it been stuck in a range? We had a big range here, and then we trend for 1 week, and then we got stuck in a range here, you could say. Actually, this has been a range the whole time, really, because we went down and then we back up to exactly where we were before. This is a range, right? So we've been stuck in a range since March this year. I think that proves the point. So that's pretty much where this strategy works best, and the market conditions where this strategy works best is in a ranging market, which, well, we are in that 2-year range period. So let's just get into a few of these. I'm going to start with STMX. I don't even know what this token is. I just know that it works really well. Let's have a quick look-see. So I'm actually going to move this back. Actually, I'm going to move it back to the start of the year. So this thing that I'm dragging around on the chart is the back test, but you can also do it from here. So I'm just going to go back to January, which is when we finished the bear market, essentially. And now we're just in the ranging market, because the conditions we're in is we're in either in a trending market or a ranging market, essentially. So those are the two conditions that we have to consider. I've covered many trending strategies in the last video, which you can find in the link up above. I covered quite a few long-term swing trading strategies that are trending based strategies. So they use the daily time frame and they hold their trades for quite a while. Actually, to be honest, quite a while. So we're just going to do the back testing to the start of the year, essentially. And I'm going to show you the settings, and I'm just going to pop open the alerts on the side here. You can see all of the alerts I've got in, quite a few. I got 48. So I'm just going to put this on the side here so it's nice and neat, essentially. So the settings will all be on the side here while I explain on the chart what we're looking at. So this is STMX. Okay, STMX is StormX, which is a cashback platform that allows users to earn rewards for shopping online. Okay, I've actually heard of this before, so there you go. But again, all I do with these is as soon as, and it happens pretty frequently, Pionex will list new coins and I add them to my Pionex list, which is here. This is OKX perps, sorry. And I go to, where is it? Pionex perps. And I add them to the list, and then I go and back test, spend time with this particular strategy to basically work out the best settings for if I wanted to trade this using a bot, essentially. I do like these bots because they just work away and trade for you while you're asleep or while you're doing other things. They just do their thing and you don't really have to interact so much. And I like these these are great sort of passive income strategies, whereas your active trades are like the daily, or if you're a scalp trader, day trader or stuff like that, you still do that. And then these kind of are on the side just doing their thing as well. So let's bring up the settings for StormX and we'll just go from there. So we're going to backtest everything to the start of the year, because that's where the sort of ranging period has begun, right? This is this current market condition, the ranging market began at the start of the year. So this is why I'm starting this year, because if I backtested this till last year, well, it would probably be terrible for a lot of these. So you do have to identify the market conditions, right? So that's the other thing as well. And that's where it comes in handy to use something like the EV Trend Trader, because once you get that first green candle after the aggressive bear, then we can start using these, right? So if anything, I should probably put it till the 16th of Jan, but let's just go for the start of the year. And it's not even a whole year, right? We haven't even had a whole year of price action, or so, you know, could be more, could be less for each of these. Time will tell. So anyway, STMX, let's just get on with it, shall we? So I'm using, for most of these, so a lot of these that I'm about to show are on the 12 hour. So as I say in the thumbnail, I'm looking at things on higher time frame, because I've covered some low time frame pivot surge strategies in the past, but for these are going to be high time frame, so they hold on to trades for longer periods of time. So let's have a look down the bottom here at the strategy tester. So this is what this looked like. Basically, these are the settings here on the chart, so you can take note of these. I'll just quickly explain. So this tries to pick tops and bottoms in the market. I've explained this indicator in the past, so just to try and keep the video a bit shorter, I'm not going to go into too many of the details. You can check out some of my previous videos if you wish to know how this works under the hood. But these are the settings here. So you've got the length, that's at the lowest setting. So 2 I generally is the lowest. And then I'm using the bullish and bearish to tweak it and refine it essentially. So for this one, I've got the stop loss as the average true range, and I've got it set to 2, which is very low. And you can see here the percent profitable on this is low, and that's because I've got the ATR set so low. If I set this to a percentage and put this up to, say, for example, like, I don't know, yeah, like 15% or something, for example, you can see that this percent profitable goes up. But look at the max drawdown, for example, that's really bad. So if we're only investing $80, then there's a massive chance that this could get wiped out. So that's one thing to consider as well. Like if you're investing $80 into this, then really what you want to see on the backtest is the lowest number here possible. Like anything under $80 preferably. In this case, it's actually quite high, right? So 178 is actually quite high. We can see here, if we have a look at the profit, this year for STMX, this strategy has made 1,498 USD from $80. That's very impressive, right? That's like meme coin stuff. You can see that's 1,873%, right? That's a lot. And the way this works is it's actually going against the trend. So the moving average filter, which again I've explained in the past, is a EMA. Its bias is set to low. And you can see if I change this, just have a look at that figure down the bottom there, just down here. If I change this to an SMA and then change this to close and change this to like, I don't know, 500 period, look at that. Big difference, right? Big difference. So if you change any of these, if you move any of these around, that will adjust the performance. I've also got the bandwidth set to -100, which is pretty huge. Remember, negative value includes any signal within the band, and positive value blocks the band. So any trades within the band are blocked, and except for any exits will take regardless. So because this will close the trade on the next signal, regardless of where it is, and it ignores any of these other parameters, essentially. So I've got here this box tipped, which is reverse the filter direction. What that means is usually the way this is set up is it tries to trade with trend, right? So, and again, this is on 12 hour. So all this is doing is only taking longs because it's below the moving average. And then when it's above, it's only taking shorts above the moving average. So that's what it means by reverse filter direction, right? So again, explained that in previous videos, but just in case it's the first time you're seeing this, that explains it. So let me just get rid of the stochastic heat map. Just so you know, the color of the candles is a stochastic heat map. So that has nothing to do with the strategy. I just like to look at it because it looks much nicer than looking at all these red and green candles. So anyway, as you can see, the win rate is much lower, but that's because it stops out really quickly and cuts bad trades or potentially bad trades before they can play out. But you can look at the max drawdown here, and that's not amazing. So, but let's have a look at the list of trades for this one. I'm just gonna bring this back up. So yeah, we can see here from $80. Again, remember this is opening at $640 position size. So $80, $640, and this is my commission. This would be yours if you use a referral link, and you'll find one in the description below. That's my referral link to Pionex. So if you wish to use Pionex and set these up, then if you use that referral link, you'll support the channel and I will greatly appreciate it. And also you can set your commission to 0.04. So you'll make a little bit extra based on that. And if you want a full video on how to set up the Pionex trading bots, you can check out this video above. And in that one, I go into a very detailed explanation on how to set up the Pionex trading bots. So check that video out if you want to know how to do it. There are a few features that are missing from that video, which they've added, and those are the profit reinvest, which I mentioned at the start of the video, and also you can close a trade. So you can actually close a trade in Pionex now on a bot, and it's just like a little minus symbol. So you'll see that when you look at all the current active bots, you will see a little minus in there. So you use that in order to close a trade. So for some reason, if you want to close a trade, for example, if there's an FOMC meeting coming up or something along those lines, and you're like, I don't want to participate in this rubbish, right? Then, well, if it takes a signal, right, then you just close it. Or if you're up a lot in profit and you're like, well, what's the point in just holding onto this? You might not get a signal or something like that. Well, you can just close it, right? So that's up to you what you do with that. So anyway, we'll get back into here. So again, this $80 invested and $640 position size. So the reason why I've done that is because this is something that I guess a lot of people can afford. And that's the reason why I'm covering it and putting this in as the trade size, because, you know, sometimes in the past I've done videos where I've shown $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 position sizes. And it's like, well, that's not really relevant to a lot of people. So what I wanted to do is kind of make this so it's a bit more relevant to more people, I guess, more people's budgets. And I guess the idea with this is, you know, you'd be testing this on with a small amount of capital. I mean, 80 USDT, it's not too much, right? It's not a lot of money. So if something did malfunction and, you know, you were testing some bots and it didn't quite work out, well, you've only lost 80 USDT, which if you can't afford to lose 80 USDT, then you probably shouldn't be opening up the bots in the first place, right? Because that's, yeah, again, you should never invest more than you can afford to lose, right? So getting back into it, I'm just going to rant less about random stuff and just cover these going forward. So just so I can get through the video. So no more ranting. We have a look at the strategy tester. These are the trades that recently took. So this currently is in a short, and the last long made $125. Pretty nice. $53. Pretty nice. Then, you know, you can see all the list of trades just by clicking here. $70 loss. So let's see how much it loses when it stops out. So I'm pretty sure this was a stop loss. Yep, here you can see stop loss. So whenever this loses a trade, it's a $41 loss. Okay, well, this was 21 actually. So sometimes the stop loss is actually profit, or not as much as the maximum stop loss amount, because the stop loss will update with the chart. I've shown in previous videos where that happens, so I'm not going to do that here. So no more ranting. So anyway, so you can see with this one, the way this has worked this year is it made some pretty good gains at the start of the year, and then it really just kind of went sideways, which is not really that great, to be honest. It's not really that great, but then it hit a point where it just went on an absolute tear. So this one is not bad, but I'm going to show much better ones in the next ones. But this is just one I found today, and I've implemented this today, so I'm just going to follow it and see how it goes. And again, it's just $80. So if it doesn't really work out, then it doesn't bother me too much personally. Okay, the next one I'm going to cover is Alice. So this is what it looks like. This is pretty bad, this drawdown actually. So let's have a quick look at the max drawdown, 130. So this one does depend on you making some good trades, well, at least based on the backtest anyway, to absorb these sorts of drawdown periods. And you get this when you buy spot anyway, right? So when you buy spot, you get these drawdown periods anyway when the price goes up and down. So this is similar to that. It's just that you can make money when price goes up and price goes down. So again, this one here, Alice, I'm not going to search every coin and see what it does and what it's for every time, but these are all available on Pionex. So I guess that's probably the most important part. So you can see the win rate's about 70% and it's made 1,229%. Again, that is using the same things before, 8640. Single trade entry, no pyramiding. Here are the settings, essentially the inputs. Just move that to the side there. So here are the settings there. This one uses the weighted moving average, 700 period, and includes trades within 6%. So it's 3% below and 3% above is what it's including within the price action. There it is there. Anyway, so 6%, it's got extra. So anything within the band, it will take the signal regardless of what it is. So be it a top signal or bottom signal. So you can see right here, again, this one is another one where I'm going reverse filter direction. So it's taking longs below and shorts above. But in this case, it was within the band, so it took the signal regardless. So it took the short there, close, short, close, sorry, short to long, to close, to long, to close, long, close. Oh, this was stop loss. There you go. The stop loss value on this one is average true range 5. So quite a tight stop loss. Again, just cutting trades before they hurt you for the most part. And you can see, you know, in some cases, you basically stop out on the first candle. And again, this is a 12-hour candle, essentially. One of the reasons why I like 12-hour is, well, you only have to check the chart twice a day. For the most part. But you actually don't really need to check these so much. All you have to do is log into Pionex and see how they've gone in terms of the performance. So again, drawdown for this one, 130. So you do get periods where it sort of draws down. But you can see here, you know, the last few trades, and this is July. So you can see that sometimes you've got a few months between trades, like one a month, sometimes a few a month. But yeah, so $57, $57, $48, 77, and the stop loss for this one is 31. And this will vary because it's average true range, so it won't always be the same amount. Whereas when this is a percent value, then the amount loss will be the same every time. The average true range calculates based on the average true range, so that will be, the stop loss will be a different value every time. As you can see, this drawdown period, this is the one I was showing before. So this would be pretty bad in circumstances like this. If you've just opened the bot, you can either let it die or you can add to margin. And I covered that in the bot video, where if you need to add margin to the bot, then, you know, you just add like 10 or 20 USDT to it to shore it up. And then you will see in the following trades, then it sort of made that back. So before it got stuck in its drawdown, it was up 471. And by the time it was done fixing itself up, so it incurred all that loss. And then the next 3 wins took it to 576. So you see it did eventually get back, right? So Alice, those are the settings for Alice. And you saw them just before. So let's move on to the next one. So the next one is Alpha. So they've just added Alpha recently. So I was trading this one on OKX, and I was trading this on the 1 hour chart, but I've decided to make a bot that's 12 hour, just because when I compared them, the 1 hour bot took like 80 trades in the year and was about, with the same, I guess, factoring the same amount of leverage, was about 1,300 on the backtest. Well, this one's 1,475, as you can see down here. So, I mean, that's a lot better. It's not taking as many trades, which is nice. And look at the max drawdown, 88. So 88 is pretty good. That means that throughout the course of the year, it's never got to a point where it would have liquidated you. Well, I mean, $8, you could have just added 10 to margin. But again, this is the max drawdown throughout the entire year, which is pretty amazing. So here are the settings on the side there. As you can see, just up above where my head is. Wait, I'm just realizing my head's here. So let me fix that up. Okay, I've made my head tiny, which is fine. It's just not even necessary for me to be visible, but I just figure maybe you want to see my face for whatever reason, but now it's much smaller, whatever. At least now you can actually see the stats on the chart. So I'm going to quickly go back to STMX so you can see those. I'll just pop them here in the middle of the screen. So that's STMX. You only need to see down to here because you don't need these comments. So yep, there you go. And the other one was Alice. Here are the settings for Alice. And Alpha. So Alpha is pretty good, you know, almost 80% win rate, 1475. It's made from $80, $1,183, which is pretty nice. And again, one of the most important things is the max drawdown, right? So in this case, it's never really got to a point where it's been close to liquidation, essentially, because I think whenever it hit this point, I'm sure by this stage it had already made enough money for it to not be a problem. So I got this one automated, and I'm just going to let it do its thing, essentially. And just to quickly cover, this one is a percent stop loss. So this one is 9% stop. So if we have a look here, this is what a stop loss looks like. It's a $58 loss, which is quite a bit, to be honest. And the max drawdown, so that was actually recently. So 58, and then the max drawdown 30 here, that adds up to 88. So the max drawdown was recently, in fact. That was at the start of the month. So that's what this max drawdown is. But you can see it didn't actually realize the entire loss. So if that realized 30 and 58, well, that would have been a realized loss, but max drawdown is the maximum potential loss in the strategy, essentially, throughout the backtested range. But it actually went up and went in to make a $20 profit. So this one, the profits are much smaller, you can see, but that's okay. Except for here, 119. When was that? June. And 171, 72, 72, 74, 110, 18. You get the idea. So you can see this one does the same thing as the last two, where it's going against so it's reversing the filter direction. So it's taking shorts above the moving average and longs below the moving average. This one is blocking trades within a 4% range. So anything in this band is getting blocked, except for exits. Exits are accepted, entries are rejected, essentially. That's how the positive value works, which I've explained in the last video I talked about this indicator. So that's that. Close trade at next signal. I really like this just because it gets in scalps. And you know, this is not really scalps, let's be honest. These are more like swing trades because you're talking about 5 days. So I'm calling them scalps, but let's be honest, they're like 6 days. I mean, if you could call these scalps, they're more like swings. I mean, it's 18% of movement between these signals. So this one's got quite a few more trades. So 28, which is quite a few, to be honest. And that's the reason why I keep these numbers low, so that it can get into more positions. Just get in, get out, wait for the next signal. That's pretty much how it goes. Bada bing, bada boom. This uses the weighted moving average. It's not biased to any, it's not high, low, it's just close using the 800 period moving average, which is a popular one, but it's a weighted moving average, so it's not a standard moving average. Remember the list here, it's got the ALMA, the volume weighted average price, volume weighted moving average, smooth moving average, or rate of change, estimated moving average, and simple moving average. Those are the ones that you can pick from, and they all give different results. So yes, this does not help with the amount of time that it takes to backtest having all of these, but on these big time frames, I'm really liking these higher moving averages because it just kind of sets one direction and it just takes those trades. You can see why this trade style would not work in a bull or a bear market, because if you're just going on this massive rip or tear, then it's just kind of counter trading constantly and stopping out. So that's why identifying the market for these. Anyone that's in the reverse filter direction is very important. Anyone that's not reverse filter direction, well, you can probably leave those on during the bull market or the bear market, because it's just going to be taking trades and trading with trend and following the trend essentially. So definitely something worth noting. Next one I'm going to cover is AVAX, aka Avalanche, and we'll just have a quick look at everything here. So this one's been 1,472% profit, and the win rate's about 76%. You can see the max drawdown is less than the initial capital, which is perfect. And with this one, so this one's much lower risk, I would say, based on the backtest alone. And this is kind of what it looks like. So we get these really nice periods, bit of drawdown, 1, 2, 3 losses, one big win, loss, win, 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 win. Actually, it's been in a drawdown period for a while, so this actually has been terrible lately. So there you go. Let's have a look. Yeah, these 3 trades, so pretty much since the start of August, it's been drawing down, which is not amazing. So this is probably what the max drawdown is, because, or probably even here. Let's have a look at the settings for AVAX Lanch. So as you can see with this one, we're using the 700 period weighted moving average, and we're including all trades within a, is this 16%? Wow, that's huge. With a 16% range of price. There you go. So it's, I guess it gets really aggressive and trades back and forth within the band. And then as soon as it gets below it, it just takes longs only. Again, remember this is a reverse, close the next signal. Here are the trades, or here are the settings here on the screen. So yeah, if you want to get those, just pause it, I suppose. This one's using the average true range, and definitely got better results with average true range versus percent, because if we go to percent, what do we have? Actually, percent's much higher, but look at the max drawdown. So it depends on what you really want, right? If you're happy to just add more, also the win rate is 88%. So for the average true range, for this one, I've decided to use that because I liked the max drawdown being less. So make less profit, but also less chance of you blowing up the bot. So it depends on really what you want to do. Like if you want to be more aggressive, then you can just put a 12% stop loss in, which means very rarely, you probably won't even really hit a stop loss at all, like or very, very rarely would hit the stop loss. And so you actually would make more profit. But if you want to be more, like protect yourself more, then you'd go for something like this, right? Where the stop loss is much tighter. And in some circumstances, that means you get more profit in the long run. In this case, I've just gone for this being more protective, but it depends on how aggressive you want to be, essentially. This is completely up to you. And remember, none of this is financial advice. It's up to you what you do with this. If you wish to use this, that's great. But this video is for education and entertainment purposes only. The old thing that everyone has to say. So anyway, that's the settings for AVAX. And you can see all the stats down here. Let's get on to the next one, shall we? So this is one I've covered in a previous video. Let me just try and get this looking less insane. This looks crazy on the chart. What on earth? This is a bloody mess. Okay. That was a bit intense. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin 12 hour. And the Bitcoin 12 hour, quite a high win rate. We did have this craziness though. I actually manually trade this. So I exited quite a bit of this trade up here. It's up to you if you want to bot this or use it to help you with bias for shorter term time frame trades. Well, 12 hours not really short term, but you could call it short term scalps or short term swings. You can see with this one, you know, we had this long here, I did take profit here, and then this went to a short here, small loss to a win, and now it is a long. So I've covered this in a previous video, so I won't go into too many of the details, but I will show the settings for it. This one doesn't actually even use the moving average filter, and these are the settings. But again, since I've covered this in a previous video, I will not go into too much about it in this video. Okay, here's the next one, CHR. CHR is Chromia, which is actually a layer 1 blockchain. I've never heard of it before. I actually had to look it up. I just asked Bard what it was. Maybe even give me what the wrong thing, because Bard does give incorrect information sometimes. But anyway, let's just have a look at how this has worked. It's been really nice. Couple of losses here. Max drawdown 114, which isn't too bad. It's actually been going sideways for a while, so it's kind of lame. I have to see if this one starts to trend again in a nice way. But for the last, let's see, I think since probably here, that's May. It's a long time ago. So yeah, this one's just been like making profit, then giving it back, making profit, giving it back. This is terrible. I don't know. It's not that bad, I suppose, but we'll definitely have to see how this one plays out. I haven't automated this one, so this is just an example, I suppose. But if we have a look, here are the settings for it. So again, you can see very similar settings to previous ones. SMA, low, 600, takes everything within a 16% range, essentially, regardless of where it is in relation to the moving average, close the next signal. So here are the settings here. Probably won't go into too much detail on this one, because look at this sideways. It's been going for, I think since May. So yeah, I guess this is just an example of one, but maybe, you know, you could throw a 80 at it if you so wish, but I don't know. I don't know about this one. Next one we're going to show is Joe. So this is the Joe show, at least this part of it anyway. So with Joe, it's taken 47 trades, quite a few. It's using the 4-hour chart. Max drawdown's 121, which is not the best. 900% profit, which is decent. But again, like, as you can see, some of these 12 hours, it's not trading as frequently, but it's taking good trades. And that's kind of what I much prefer. But we'll have a look at this 4-hour one, just so we can, you know, compare and we can see kind of what the settings I've picked. So this one is a 100 period simple moving average, and it's accepting trades within I believe that's 1%. So that's 0.5% below, 0.5% above, closing a next signal, and it's got a 5% stop loss. So let's have a quick look here, what kind of gains it's making per trade. So much smaller, it's taking much smaller profits. Stop loss hit is $45. So that's half of the initial capital taken per stop loss. One thing is, if you get really high percent profitable, like the win rate is quite high, you could consider the profit reinvest for those, because they've shown a track record of winning more trades than losing. So in those cases, then maybe profit reinvest would be better. This is 74%, which is not too bad, but I would be doing profit reinvest for something like 90% or something like that, because I think that just makes a lot more sense. So we can see here, it's actually in a short currently on Joe, and it's just been holding onto the short the whole time. Let's see, it's up $2. But yeah, you can see there's some quite meager profits that it's locking in, but you can see like a bit further back, this is to August, it's taking a lot more trades, right? It's taking a lot more trades in terms of, you know, like a passive income stream or something like that, you know, getting 36, 43, all that sort of stuff. Like this sort of profit is still nice to have, right? It's still nice to have. And this doesn't look too bad, really. It doesn't look too bad. You get these nice periods of winning, then this drawdown where it got, I think there's 3 trades in a row, back to winning, then 1, 2, 3, then back to winning again, 1 loss, so on and so forth. I mean, you get the idea, right? But at least with this, it hasn't got stuck in these sideways periods. Essentially, this one's just been kind of trending. And this is a buy and hold equity. If you put $80 into Joe, if you bought $80 worth of Joe, you would have $40 versus 723. So this is a 4-hour. You know, you can see, I already showed the settings, but here they are again. Not reverse direction, so this one's actually trading with the trend. So it's taking longs above the moving average and shorts below the moving average. And then anything that is within the band as well, regardless of what direction it is, it's also taking those. So let's just move to the next one, shall we? The next one is ICP. I don't think this one's on Pionex actually, but I wanted to show this anyway because it has a 94% win rate, which is pretty amazing, right? Still quite a hefty drawdown on some of these. If we have a look, 61, actually it's not too bad. Let's have a quick look at so let's set this up if we were trading the same amount of capital. This one's actually taking multiple entries in. So this is a 3-tiered entry. So this is probably one you would more manually trade. And again, Pionex doesn't have this, but if we go 640 and then 1, not 31, just 1. Yeah, still not too bad, 1087%. Pretty good actually. And look at this. This is just beautiful. Like, look at that. So I manually trade with this strategy, and I'm very keen for Pionex to add ICP if they do. That would be amazing. If they're listening, which they aren't, please add ICP, because this would be amazing to automate. And this is on the 1 hour chart. It's taken 27 trades, so not too frequently. Here are the settings for ICP. So it's 8, 81, 59, uses the average true range. It pretty much doesn't have a stop loss. So it's a bit degen on that front. And this one closes next trade, trades with trend, SMA 100 period, so on and so forth. So those are the settings there. Pretty nice, actually. Doesn't get into too many trades, but the ones that it does are pretty good. So that's ICP. I just thought I'd quickly show that one as well. This is another one that I trade manually. So I actually don't trade this one as a bot, but again, like you can use the strategy for this. It has an 82% win rate, which is really nice. And I can tell you this one has been really nice. As I said, I've been trading with this one manually for a few months and it's been really nice. So this looks great to me. This is really, really nice. The win rate, the percent profit is not crazy. This one actually, I think, is multi-tiered on the back test. So it's actually entering 2 to create a $1,000 position size from 100. These are just arbitrary numbers, really. These aren't the trade sizes that I've actually put for this. The first 640 and make this 1 because we want to compare apples for apples, right? So 82% win rate, 922%, only $81 drawdown, max drawdown. Again, that's not realized. That's max drawdown. Quite nice, really, quite nice. And here are the settings. Move that to the side. So there, using the average strength. Again, this one's like no stop loss. I think I showed the settings just before, right? Well, at least they're very similar to the last one I showed. Close next signal, trading with trend, essentially. And this one's high on the source. So yeah, there are the settings there. This one is currently in a long. Personally, I am in this long position and I added more down here at this inefficiency. So I actually caught right here, which was really nice. So yep, just thought I would show that one. I don't think Clayton is in Pionex, so can't make a bot with this one, unfortunately, but it is something you can trade manually if you so wish. Next one is NKN, or New Kind of Network, which I think is a peer-to-peer, hang on, let's just have a look and see what it is. Peer-to-peer network connectivity protocol and ecosystem powered by a novel blockchain. So it's, I guess, an L1. Uses economic incentive to motivate internet users to share network connections and utilize idle bandwidth. So it's decentralized internet with no intermediary involved. I mean, that's kind of interesting. That is, if this is accurate. Let's just get straight into the settings, shall we? So this one's win rate is much lower, so 66%, because I've got a very tight stop loss on this. So it's a 3% stop loss, and the max drawdown is 48, which is really nice. So let's have a look at the list of trades. What does a stop loss look like? Stop loss is $19, which is pretty good. Like if you lose $19, well, it's, I guess, almost 20. So 2 lots of 20 is your $40, essentially. And I guess the max drawdown happened recently, because 40 plus 8 is, well, that's 9, actually, 49. And that's, I guess that's that there. So anyway, this one, since the start of the year, 1,600%. It's pretty nice, to be honest. It does stop out a lot, and as you can see based on this, you could get this number higher by using a higher value. Let's just go ATR, for example. So it's 84% win rate if you go ATR. Look at this drawdown though, that's insane. No way. I wouldn't do that. That's just like, that's liquidation. So yeah, if you see like, oh yeah, the percent, win is really nice, but you look at this max drawdown, it's like well and truly over what it would be based on the initial capital. Just change the settings. Do something else. Try something else, because that's just gonna wreck you before you get a chance to make any profit. I'd rather just, stop out. Even if it could be a win, if it didn't take the stop, I would rather not risk it personally. So this is pretty nice. Max drawdown 48. Here are the settings here on the side. This one counter trades, so reverse filter direction, weighted moving average, 900, and it is blocking everything except for the exits within the band. So you can see this band here, it's not going to take any trades inside there. Look at this craziness. All this stuff. This is a stop loss. Okay, so shorted, exit, short, is that a stop loss? Yeah, look how tight the stop loss is. It's insane. Let's have a look at the average trade win amount. So 70, 47, 88, it's 119 there. That's pretty nice. So yeah, you can see it does stop out a fair bit. And when it stops out, it takes $20. So yeah, but you get these big wins, which is quite nice. Let's have a look at what it looks like. It's really nice. It's kind of like an up-only affair. So this is a good one. This is a good one. So this is NKN. I've got this one automated personally. And why is this doing like this? Waves. There we go. Got my colors back. So anyway, that's that one, NKN. This one's been pretty good. This one's currently in a long trade. Next up, we have Optimism. So this actually isn't even a full year of backtesting. This one only goes back to April, I believe. So we have a look here. Yes, April 11. That's when Optimism hit the market. This is actually using OKX chart. So I've been mainly testing these with the ones that I can use OKX for, I use OKX, and the ones that don't have an OKX chart, I use Binance. And I don't know, the reason why is the volume shifts in OKX just seem to be better. Again, this uses the cumulative volume index to calculate pivots in price action. So local tops, local bottoms. It's never exactly, very rarely is it perfect at a perfect top or at a perfect bottom, but it gets pretty close, generally speaking, unless it doesn't and then it stops out, which does happen. This one's 92 win rate and only 85 drawdown. This is amazing. So this is 12-hour. These stats are sick. This is great. And from $80, again, this is $80, double check, yes, $80. It's made 800, so that's a 10x. It's more than a 10x. 1,097%, essentially. So this one's really good. This one's really good. Shall I show the settings? Yes, I shall. So here they are here. This is average to range stop loss. This one doesn't really hit many stops. I'm surprised max drawdown isn't much higher because this is quite a high value for average to range. This one uses the smooth moving average or rate of change moving average. Bias to low, 600 period. This counter trades, so it opens shorts above, longs below, and this doesn't have any bandwidth. So this one's just literally what you see is what you get. If I made this like 100, for example, oh no, that blocks anything. So if I go this minus 100, let's see if this improves. Well, you get better results. How's that? Not as high there, then the max drawdown is much higher, but you get more profit if you go like minus 100 on the band. So anything inside this huge band here, it takes, which is quite absurd. More profit, still decent win rate, but the drawdown was much higher. So I've opted for less profit and lower risk. So that's completely up to you what you do, but that's with optimism. I think I already showed the settings. There they are again. As you can see, wait, am I pointing in the right direction? No, I'm pointing in the wrong direction. It's over here, here and here. Here's another one that's been not too bad for the course of the year. However, it has recently just been kind of sideways. So this one's currently in its sort of drawdown period, if you will. This one is OMG Go. I may have covered this in a previous video, but yeah, you can see this one's max drawdown's pretty bad. This is actually one I manually trade. But yeah, the win rate's pretty high. I think 77's not bad. 1,351%. This max drawdown is quite high. Let's have a quick look at the settings. Well, this is using the old tops and bottoms strategy. So yeah, I've had this in for quite some time. The settings you can see are slightly different. I mean, it's a simple moving average because this is before I added all the extra moving averages. Closes at next signal, uses average range. This is no stop loss, pretty much. Average to range is 81%. There's pretty much no stop loss on that. So yeah, this one's not so recommended. I mean, this max drawdown, this is like, if you're isolated margin, this is probably at whatever point that was. I'm not even sure. Let's have a look at list of trades here. Wow, look at that. That's really bad. So if there's $80 and you started the bot there, I don't even think OMG is in Pionex as a bot. So anyway, this is old. OMG. But anyway, I guess you get the point. It's actually not that bad until it kind of entered this sideways, which can happen with any of these, right? They can all kind of look really nice and then go sideways for a while until price starts sort of trending a bit more, or I guess even dancing around where the moving average is the other thing that can happen. Next one I will show, I just got a TP on AGLD, which I covered in the last video. That long is doing really well. Okay, anyway, so next one I'll cover is SUI. Now, remember, SUI is very young, so there's a good chance that this might end up malfunctioning, but I thought, hey, I'll show it anyway, just so you can, I guess, get an idea as to what you could probably do when you're setting this up for yourself. This one trades with trend. So it trades, shorts below the moving average, longs above, and also anything within the band minus 13. I've got that. So the band is 2.6% wide. 66% win rate. This is probably could be better. But yeah, not 890%. Not bad. Not bad at all. What if we pull the stop loss down? Nah, it's much better at this. You can actually see that win rate will go up if you take the stop loss away and there's more profit. But look at the drawdown, 165 versus 99.82. So again, depends on how aggressive you want to be. Like if you want to be just throwing margin at this to stop it from liquidating, then probably go for something that gives you more profit, I suppose. Again, like there is risk involved in this. This again could go through like lengthy drawdown periods. So you kind of want settings that accommodate for that sort of thing for when that does happen, because it does. And when it does, it sucks long and short. So yeah, there's not too many trades here. So this started in May. That was when SUI dropped. And we're going to look at the trades. Oh, $100. Nice. 38. So what's a stop loss look like? A stop loss is about $24. Well, in this case, it was 51. Is this because it uses average true range? No, it's 8%. Oh, but yeah, it's like what I mentioned before, where the stop loss will move depending on new signals on the chart. So that's why you get different values here. But again, with these lower time frame ones, their entries are never as good. Like the 12-hour entries seem to be much better than anything lower than that. So anyway, I just thought I'd show SUI anyway, and you saw the settings. I'll show them again right here on the side. Uses volume weighted moving average, 70 period, and minus 13%, 8% stop loss, and closes next signal. So yeah, you can actually turn this off so it just swings, which can be good, but also can be bad because it just sits in trades for ages. Look at this. This is great. Just sat here just took this massive, what was that? $6, $106 win. Pretty nice, 240. So yeah, you can try the swing way, but often you'll see when you actually click on the swings on any of the ones that I showed before, if you untick this box, you'll find like the percent profit as actually goes up a lot of the time. But then you look at the max drawdown and it's like something really high a lot of the time. And the win rate is often much lower when it's not getting in and out. So again, depends on what you want. But I think all of these ones that I'm showing all have this. So I started off leaving trades and swings and just letting them go. And then I was just like, I'm in trades for too long. I'd rather it banked profits. And again, like if you've got a high percentage win rate strategy and you're able to reinvest the profit, which I haven't done on any of mine personally, so it's up to you, but it means that as it's taking profit, it's able to create bigger position sizes and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. So if you're sitting in this really long-term swing, well, by that time, I think maybe 4 or 5 trades, you know, have entered and exited, and then it's slowly increasing the trade size with every one of those scalps. So by the time the swings finish, well, you may have made more money. Again, this depends on your risk appetite, but you can think of it like that. If you want to go down that profit reinvest route, that opening and closing the trades and reinvesting the profit, that will end up being a lot more and you can't backtest that anyway. Like there's a backtest where you can go here to 100% of equity. That's not going to work factoring in the leverage. So, okay, so that wraps it up. I think that's all of the ones that I wanted to show. You can see theta on the chart here, but you know, this one's just one that I manually trade on OKX. This is a, you know, pyramid entry strategy and stuff. So I won't cover this one because it's not a bot, but I guess I can show you the settings for this. It's not as good though. Like if you actually change this to 80 and 640 and then just do 1, it's like 82% win rate, which is pretty nice. And the drawdown's only 80, but the profit is not that high for theta for this strategy. So I mean, you could probably just adjust the settings, obviously, but I'm not going to do that live in a video. Well, it's not live. I'm going to edit this video, but you understand what I mean, right? Because like, this is how I backtest. I'm like, down 1. No, that's worse. Down 1. No, that's worse. Oh, that's better. This is how I backtest. Yeah, this is like watching paint dry. If I just sit there tweaking these numbers until I get better stats, right? So yeah, anyway, I'm not going to do this in the video because it's ridiculous. This is how I literally backtest all of these. I change all of these values, move them up or down, you know, to try and get better win rates. And then I look at the drawdown and all that sort of stuff. So this is literally how I've backtested all of these. And this is what you will have to do if you want to do it for something that you want to test. Yeah, it's, can be a time-consuming process. I like to just do this like out in the garden or go for a walk somewhere and just set up my surface and do it and just tether to my phone and do it wherever. Because, you know, it's nice to be sitting outside or, you know, wherever. When I was in Hong Kong, I used to do this on an island called Llama Island, just sitting on the beach, backtesting strategies. Although when the sunlight was glaring on the screen, I could barely see. So I always had to sit in the shade. But anyway, that pretty much wraps it up. And yeah, so hope you liked the video and I hope some of this stuff is helpful. And again, the link to this strategy is in the description below. You'll find the text for this or the script for this and you'll have to put it in Pinescript yourself. Again, watch the tutorial that I linked earlier on in the video if you want the full bot automation. And I also cover in that also like how to put these scripts into the Pinescript editor or the Pine editor so you can use them yourself. Anyway, remember, if you wish to trade these automated with Pionex, then you can use the link in the description for Pionex, and that is my referral link, which will give you a discount on trading fees. And if you have any questions about this, then you can shoot them in the comments below, or if you find any yourself, then feel free to share them again in the comments below. Up to you. But anyway, thanks for sticking around to the end if you did, and if you liked the video, then please give it a like or a thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe to the channel if you like this content and you want more in the future. Keep safe out there. This is Kryptolytix signing out. Have a good one.